Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to our live webinar of eIMMIGRATION by Cerenade. My name is Vanessa Vargas. So thank you for joining us today. Today we're doing a basic training for new users. But if you are not a new user and you have questions, you can also participate and send me your questions via the chat. Also note that this training is being recorded. We keep our videos in our YouTube channel called Cerenade Academy. And the PowerPoint presentation that I'm going to be using today, you can download it. If you click on the handouts option here and go to webinar, you can download the PowerPoint. Okay, so let's get started. Like I said, it's going to be a basic training for new users, but you can always ask any questions, okay? I'm going to cover the basic 3 steps on how to create a contact, how to link the members and create cases, what is the alternate view, how to use the questionnaires and how to auto-populate your forms, as well as the form tools, sending them to clients for review, how to create notes or logs, how to gather and store the documents, as well as the letter templates, which I highly recommend that you guys use, and the document assembly to put together the package. And lastly, we're going to cover reminders, case process steps, and the tickler. Every webinar, we cover a resources and support list of options that you have. We go through a Q&A, a did you know section, and we'll show you what the upcoming training classes are. All right, so let me share my screen for the caseworker portal. I just received a question and it's how can I make a professional style for written in forms? If you can specify, I'm not sure. What do you mean by professional style? Happy Friday. um, Happy Friday indeed. Okay, and so first step, how to create a contact. There's 2 options I'm gonna share with you. One is if you do it manually for that prospect or client, you create right here, create a client and contact, and you create it manually. Okay, it could be an individual client or a business client. And when you create a contact, by the way, I don't know why it's the status in the, give me 1 second, let me refresh my screen. That's weird. Oh, there we go. Like the status and the sex was not showing. So yeah, when you create a new contact, it could be an individual or a business client, and the status could be a lead or a prospect, and of course, male or female, and create the contact. That's if you do it manually. The other option is if you create a link called anonymous questionnaire right here. The anonymous questionnaire link you can share via bulk email. So let's say you have employees or applicants for, I don't know, Starbucks, and you need to create an account for each and every single applicant. So it's going to be a lot of time. What you can do is send them a link, just like this one. So they are the ones that enter their own first and last name, cell phone and email, and confirm their identity through a code. This is a 2-step authentication. And they'll get access to a simple intake form. Maybe it's something like first name, last name, email, phone number, something very simple. But at least once they submit it, you will get that profile in the system. Oh, it looks like capital small letter for name. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, so if you go to the settings in the admin portal, so right here, go to settings, administrative tools. So the question is for the all caps. Under application settings, the only ones that we have, let me scroll all the way at the bottom, are here. You can force the business client name to be uppercase or the client's first, middle, last name, again, uppercase. So this is probably what you're referring to, but not for the address, just for the names. The other thing that I can share with you or suggest, let's go back to the other portal and let me open a form. If you want all caps, once you work on the form, let me open a form. Okay. See, for example, I have the settings just for the last name and the first name, not the middle name. That's why it's not all in all caps. But what I can do is click on this icon and click on change text case and change everything, all the whole form. It will be all caps. So maybe that's what you can do. It will override and change every single thing in all caps. Let me know if that's what you wanted, but we don't have a setting by default where you can do that overall. All right, let me know if you guys have any other questions. Let's continue. So again, as long as you create the contact or the prospect creates a contact, let's open one. It looks like this, where you have a square, which by the way, if you click on, you can upload the picture of the person and identify them. And you can type the information manually. Also, don't forget to click Save Changes every time that you enter data before you switch to a different area. If you notice on the right-hand side, I see a menu. And if you don't see the menu, it's because you're probably zoomed in maybe like this. And so you should see 3 lines on the right in green. So that's how you can access, if you click on them, you can access the menu that I'm referring to. So I'm not sure what's the zoom that you have, but that's probably why if you don't see the menu, you see the 3 lines. Okay. Now we have sections that you should be completing, like aliases or biographic info, address information. We even have like the background info or previous addresses, previous marriages, etc. So the idea is that you want to enter as much information as possible in the system so that it auto-populates the forms. Okay. And either you enter it, this way, or I'm going to show you what the alternate view is. But before I go there, the next step after you create a contact and that you enter data is linking the members. If you notice on the menu, on the sidebar menu, we have a section called members. So these are the children or spouse or joint sponsor, or if it's an employment-based case, let me open one. If this was my business client and I create a contact for them and I enter the information for them, when I go to members, we're talking about the signatories and the employees. Or if you have a consulting attorney, you can also link them as other, the HR person. Anyway, so you have them all organized under the members section. Okay, and the way you do it, let me go back to the individual client. The way you link the members is by clicking here, link member. I'm going to search or create. Most likely you will create the contact. So click new contact, enter the information for the member. Doesn't have to be everything, but at least so that, we know, okay, this person is the, where is it? The son or the spouse or, so just select the type of relationship and then click link. Once you click link, it takes you back to the screen where you see the name of the person that you created and the relationship type. And the reason why you want to do this is so that you get to the form and their data also transfers automatically. If they are interested in your services, for example, I don't know, like the mother or the father of my client now want to file for their citizenship. And so I can click on the name of the person and open a new case for this person now as a client. But right now it's just a member. When you link them and create a contact, my suggestion is don't give them a client number because they are not a client, and you just leave it blank, or you can type something like not a member, whatever you prefer. I mean, not a member, not a client. Okay, step number 3, after you create the contact, enter data, and link the members, your step number 3 is to create the actual matter or case. So you click on cases and you want to create the case. Now, let me tell you something. If you handle mostly employment-based cases, I recommend that you consider our optional module called Case Initiation Request. If you're not sure, you can always contact our sales team so they can give you a demo or give you a free trial. And so what it is like your business client, let's say the HR person, requests a new case from their client portal. And they give you the applicant's information and the job description and the salary, everything. And when you accept the case, then the system creates the account or the contact profile for the applicant, and it links it to the employer to this profile. And so it's a lot easier to create business or employment-based cases. It's called case initiation request. All right, so step number 3, like I said, is creating the case. We're gonna click on create case, and this is the case wizard. This is where we select our location, which by the way, you can have more than one. You can select the area of practice because the system can be utilized for non-immigration cases as well, just so you know. And as a reminder, I mean, I know this is a basic training for new users, but just so you guys know, there is an administrator portal where you can customize all these settings. And so actually, I was just showing it earlier. So if you don't want to see processes that you don't need, so let's say I don't do L1s, L2, H1B, so I can hide them. I don't necessarily want to delete them, but I can hide these processes and rearrange them and put the ones that I truly need in the top 10, top 20. Okay, so you're going to pick the process. You're going to pick maybe the program type. If you're a nonprofit organization, this is where you select the grant, or you can customize it for something like pending with NVC, completed, interrupted, and processed. So you can run reports based on that as well. And lastly, the category, family-based, U visa, or employment-based. I'm going to click next. Also, your info, even if you're not the attorney, but whoever is preparing the form and should transfer to the forms has to have this green check mark. Okay, I can always add another person. So let's say my paralegal, I'm gonna select her. I'm gonna click next, or even an interpreter as well. Although you know what, if you have, like, let's say the family member is translating, you can also select them as interpreter so they can transfer to the forms. For a family-based case, you select petitioner, but if it's an employment-based case, you select employer. That's the difference, all right? If it's employment-based case, select employer as the role, case role, and this is where you can choose the branch and the signatory. Otherwise, you are not going to be able to see these two settings, okay? That's if it's employment-based. If it's family-based case, then you can choose petitioner, and for the beneficiary, you can also select alien or beneficiary or whatever you prefer. We can also have a derivative. I'm going to click next. I see the forms checklist. I can always add or remove forms, and then I'm going to click create. That's how you create a case, but let me know if you have any questions on those basic 3 steps. Let's see. Someone's raising a hand, so I'll wait for you to send me your question. I can't unmute you. So just type your question while I launch a poll. Let me know if you're a new user and this is the first training that you're taking. Okay, so far we've got 50-50. Let's see. We have a poll in progress. If you don't mind, click on your screen to vote. And again, I know that you're clicking on the hand. You can't, I can't unmute you, but you can always send me your question, okay? So just chat me. Let me see if I can send you a chat message. Okay, I send you a message. Hopefully you can just reply and I can read your question, okay? Let's continue. So let's go back to our PowerPoint. Don't forget that you can download this PowerPoint presentation because it has links that you can click on. Let me make sure that you guys can see my screen. Yes, you can. Hi, I am new and I got really busy. May you please go over it? I'm sorry, what exactly you want me to go over? This is being recorded. So if for some reason you got distracted or you're busy, it's okay. You can always watch the video once we upload the video here on the YouTube channel. So just go to youtube.com, search Cerenade Academy, and you'll find the video here. We, in fact, have one that we did a month ago. So you can always watch that one too. All right, so let's continue. I'm going to show you what the alternate view is. And basically, the alternate view is located on the right-hand side. If you click on alternate view, this is where you can access the questionnaires. Any intake form that we provide by default, like this one, you can open it. You can see what the data, what data we have so far, and you can even print it and give the client a copy. Now, this is only available in English. If you close this and you go to the option where it says create, like right here on the left, create questionnaire, and then you select print, then yes, you can translate questions. Let me open that one again. I can open that same questionnaire, translate, let's say Spanish, and then print it and give them the paper. This one doesn't have the existing data. Okay, so that's the only difference. Let me close this. But again, the alternate view, what is the question? Could you kindly provide insight into the prescribed guidelines or standards for establishing the correct written format regarding the use of capital? I am not the person to give you that information. You would have to check with USCIS. Anything that has to do with guidelines or any standards, just check with USCIS because I can't tell you if it's allowed or if the form gets rejected. We can't give you that information. Thank you for your question, but and sorry if I can't give you that. You can also check with other attorneys. What is it that they do? We have a Facebook forum page where you can join and post your questions so that they can give you their advice. But my best advice would be check with USCIS so that you don't get a form rejected. But I see again, we have the feature for that reason because we get that request a lot where clients want all caps. Yeah, so your question is how do I do it automatically with the form settings? Like I said, we don't have that setting where automatically changes everything in all caps. You would have to use that setting that I went over already. Okay. All right. So alternate view again is where you can access the questionnaires or intake forms. Just simply open it, enter the information, save it, and then you can switch to a different questionnaire. For example, okay, we're going to go over your I-589 questions, and it's a lot easier for you to just enter the information here while you have the client on the phone or in front of you, or maybe the client is not tech savvy and you can't send them a questionnaire, so you complete the questionnaire on behalf of them. You simply select and click save. All right, let me close this. Once you do that, that information stays in the system and then it will transfer to the forms. Now, if the person is tech savvy and you want them to complete a questionnaire, well, first of all, depending on what package you have or optional modules, but we have one for SMS, text messaging. So you can send the client a questionnaire via text message, okay? Or you can also send it via email, or you can also copy the link to the clipboard and paste it on maybe WhatsApp, WhatsApp web. So let's go over that. If I click on create questionnaire, I'm going to send the questionnaire to this person. And your two options to deliver the questionnaire are via the client portal or via the passwordless link. So I'm going to choose this passwordless link, and I'm going to select my client's preferred language, which is Spanish. So now I can pick the process. So if my client is here for an adjustment of status, then I can select the questionnaires that are related. You can always customize your questionnaires. And remember, you can also pick different languages based on that. I'm going to choose from the general list, which is all the way up, not necessarily by process, and it gives me all questionnaires. And I'm showing you that because for some reason, if you pick a process that doesn't have a questionnaire, linked from the admin portal, you will see this message, no data available in table. So that's when you pick no process, and you can choose from all these questionnaires that you have. Okay, let me just pick one randomly, and I'm gonna select at the bottom save. How do I want to notify my client? Well, I can send her a text message if I am subscribed to that module, and you simply send the text message. It's not your actual number, and clients can reply back. And so you just send that, maybe hide the name of the paralegal just from the law office of Cerenade, and then send that link. Or I can send an email using the letter templates. Instead of maybe the default one, I'm going to use a letter template that I created for Spanish speaking clients, and it auto populates her name. And so I'm just basically providing the information in Spanish, but I'm going to copy this link and paste it here. I'm going to replace this. I'm not sending them to the client portal. So as long as they click on this link, they can access the questionnaires. And then I will just email. Or lastly, you can copy that link to the clipboard, and you can paste it in WhatsApp web. Also, you can set up a reminder once a day, once every 3 days, or once a week via email, again, text message, or both, and set an expiration date for the reminders. That's it. I'm going to save and close. And once the client gets access to that questionnaire, let me log in so I can show you more or less how it looks like. This is me logging in into the client portal as a client, just because I don't have that either text message or email. Let me open that. Okay, so the benefit of sending the questionnaire, let me, to an existing client, for example, is that they see the data that we have already. They don't have to start from scratch. And they'll make the changes. For example, let's say the correct date of birth is this one, and maybe the phone number is also this one. And when they send it back and submit back to us, or tell your clients, they can also print a copy for themselves. But once they click submit, then they have no access to that questionnaire anymore. It's now up to us if we want to accept it or not. When you log in as a caseworker, you'll notice that you have items here under questionnaires and forms. So click on that icon, and we tell you the name of the client, the name of the questionnaire, and who sent it. Okay, we're gonna open the questionnaire, and the system highlights in red the changes. So I can click to see what was there before. If I click on the field, the original value is right here. And your two options are we accept it or we send it back. So you have the power and the control. Clients cannot modify data if you don't give them permission. Okay. If you accept the questionnaire, obviously we're going to overwrite the profile and update it. So now if we take a look at the contact profile, that information is updated here, the date of birth and the cell phone. Okay, let me know if you have any questions about sending questionnaires. Let's take a look at how the data populates automatically into the forms. Before I continue, let me see if there are any questions. How do you prefer to capture your client's data, by the way? There's a poll in progress. Please vote. Okay, I'm waiting for the participants to vote. Looks like plan to enter the data directly into the profile. Make sure that you guys use the alternate view. It's a lot easier sometimes if you have your custom intake forms. Okay, let's close and share. So, yep, option one, one. All right, so let's continue with the training. This is a case that we created earlier, and my recommendation is always to click on the name of the person where it says main party so that you can open. Let me close this and show you. If I click on the name, it opens another tab and I can access her contact profile. So this is the database, the brain of the system, the way I see it. This is where all the data comes from. So make sure that this is updated and it should transfer to the forms. Let's open a form and take a look. Also, as a reminder, you guys can open the forms on any device and any browser. It's compatible as long as you have internet connection. And we update the forms when there's a new version. All right, so here on the left, it says petitioner info goes here. And I did select the petitioner. On page 5, we see alien. And I did select alien as a case role. So that's why I transferred. If you rather choose beneficiary, then just make sure you click select, replace alien, and you're going to see beneficiary here. So just click on the name of the person to transfer the data if that happened to you. But that's why I picked alien, so I don't have to do that. It's faster. All right, so the data transfers from the profile, as you can see, but you can always make corrections. So if you overwrite, it's going to stay on this form. It won't affect the profile. If you make a mistake, you can click here to undo or restore the value. And if, for example, let's say my client's mailing address is incorrect. Instead of me changing it here, even though I can, my advice is for you to switch tabs and change it in the database, because that way you just change it one time only. Okay, so I'm gonna select the address. Oops. Let's say that's the correct information and apartment 123, and I'm just gonna save it in the profile. So it takes the same amount of time to type here or here. So you might as well do it in the right place. And the way you refresh or update the form is locating that red button that says select. All the forms have it. So click on select, replace, and then the name of the person. And that's how you update or refresh the data. Let's take a look. That's been updated here. And every single form will have the correct info. All right, so if you overwrite, like I said, it's going to stay in blue, but you can always cancel it. You may also add a post-it if you click on this square and move your mouse. Please confirm, I don't know, date of birth and mailing address. And these post-its can be customized and you don't have to necessarily print them. When it's time to print the form, you can simply uncheck the option for the sticky notes. You may also click on this keyboard and move your mouse and type anywhere. That's the name of the tool, type anywhere. You can drag and drop it anywhere you want, okay? Also, when you have a long address and it doesn't fit, the system is going to shrink it and reduce the size of the font for you. In fact, if you exceed the limit of characters, it creates the addendum. Let's take a look at the additional pages. If there are any additional entries, you may click on the red button and select. Maybe I want to transfer this ones, but not this address and not this address. So just click save and the system auto-populates your selections with the corresponding numbers for the page and the part item numbers. Okay, so that's gonna save you a lot of time. Let's go back to that page I was. If I need to reduce the size of the font manually, click on that field, click on the A, and change it. Also, the addendum, if I click on the paperclip icon for any attachments, you may also use the tags that we have. And let me show you what I mean. Under the tools section, we have a feature called Tag Helper. Let's say that I need to list all the children. So let me type children. And I'm going to select this one, children that are biological or all children. So let's copy that, go back to the addendum, paste it, all children list, and save it. When you are ready to print, I don't know if you can, yeah, it shows you the preview. When you are ready to print, you'll see that, but it looks like we now have a preview button, which is great. It shows the children's names, alien numbers, and date of birth. Okay, let me close my addendum page and save the form. You know what? Let me go back because I remember there's one more feature. When we are done with the form, if we have any blank spaces, we can click on this icon. Again, that looks like magic, a magic one, and replace blank, leave it blank. So we can replace any blank spaces with the infamous NA and replace. So now all the blank spaces will have an NA automatically. And again, going back to the setting, we don't have one as a default, but you can change the text case to all caps by clicking apply. Just wait until you're done with the form. It will override everything and change everything to all caps. Okay, let me save my form and close it. Any questions regarding the forms technology, please let me know. Okay, let's continue. All right, so I'm going to show you how to send the forms to your clients so they can review them. All you have to do is select the forms. And by the way, if you are going to share a form with a client, I suggest that you add the sticky notes so that they see your observations, questions, or any instructions. And you can either send the forms to them directly to their email address via email, but as a read-only PDF, or you can send the forms so they can edit them as HTML via the client portal. Make sure that you give them access to the client portal if you're going to share the forms so they can edit them. And lastly, you can also select all the forms and download. If you are going to do that, when you click continue, a job request is going to be created so you can be redirected to that area and wait until it's done so that you can download the whole package. Well, not the package, but all the forms. The other alternative would be, let me just select all and send them to myself as a read-only PDF, whatever you prefer. Okay, let's continue. How do I add logs or notes? Well, if you add a note or log at the case level, it's okay. You can still see that even if you are in the contact level, the profile. So click on add comment and you can customize the type of comment. In fact, if you haven't done it, please, please, please do that. Instead of saying you have a general note, it's better for you to be specific. These are my removal defense court notes. See, so that way you can run reports. Give me all my removal defense court notes. And if it's important, you can set up, the importance high, removal defense court notes. And I can share with my client or not. I'm going to save and close. Now this note, if I go to my contact profile and I click on logs, this is the contact profile. You can see the notes at the contact level, like I said, or if you scroll down, click where it says show case comments. And that way you can see everything, regardless you know, if it's a case or a client profile. Now wonder if you can't really sort by, only over here. So I'm going to pass that feedback to our team. All right, let's continue. Now the logs can be shared. For example, hey, that, like I said, removal defense court notes. If I don't share via the client portal, I can also send an email. Maybe not necessarily to the client, but I can share this note as a PDF with any other attorney or my paralegal or again, the client as a PDF. Okay, let me close this. How do you gather and store the documents? If you go to the contact profile, oops, over here, we do have a section for documents like passports, I-94s, visas, and we have a section also for user defined, which can be customized. This drop-down menu. So you can track anything, any document that you can think of can be tracked for like filing date. Let's say we've got like an RFE. See, filing date, approval, expiration date. You can add a description, obviously upload the actual document. So you can track all these and run reports to see what's been obtained or what's pending, and obviously run reports based on the expiration dates. So that's that. And if you go to the case profile, under the documents, you have a checklist. This checklist can be also shared with your clients so they know what they need to upload. Simply select the files, click Share with Clients, and select who to share with, and click Next. You can also send them an email. Hey, client, please log in into your client portal. We need all these documents, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you can send them that notification. Question, it says, I try to add a form in a client's case. When I selected the type of form and add, it says it was successfully added. However, I cannot see it in the case form section. Most likely, you have 2 pages. Let's go back to the forms. Check at the bottom if you need to go to the second page, because that's probably what happened. Let me add forms so that you see what I'm talking about. So, I don't know, 400. Oh, another thing, if you guys are adding forms, just enter the numbers. Don't enter the letters or dashes. Just, it's easier. Find, select, add, and close. So you probably got this operation as successful, and the reason why you cannot see it is because if I scroll down, oh, never mind, I have to keep adding more. You know what? It's easier if I just add like a predefined list for TPS, a bunch of forms at once. Okay. Oh my God, it keeps, oh, I see why, because it's all entries. All right, let me just show 5. All right, see at the bottom where I can go to page 2, page 3. So check, maybe the reason why you cannot see the forms is because you have a limited number here. So you can either change it to all, and you can see all the forms in one page. But yeah, if you got the message that it was successfully added, then it's there. Okay, so let's go back to the documents. When the clients upload a document, it's going to be listed right here. If they specify this is my passport, this is my birth certificate, you guys will see the file attached. And if you want to get an email reminder or email notification when clients upload their documents, make sure that your setting is on. Go to the contact profile under caseworkers, and this check mark where it says caseworker receives auto email. It means that anytime that we upload anytime that a client uploads a document, then I'll get an email notification. If you want that to be automatically done for all caseworkers, go to your admin and click on users, and you can customize it for them under the access rights. Or I think it's a little higher above. So let me show you. So go to the admin, click on users, open the account, and if you scroll down, it's right here. Caseworker receives an email automatically. That's if when the clients upload a document, you guys will get an email notification from us. All right, letter templates. Actually, let me go back to the admin so I can show you. In the administrator portal, if you click on letter templates, this is where you can add your templates. Most likely you have them in Word or Outlook. Just go ahead and copy paste them here and then use the tags or use a tag helper that I went over earlier, and it's easier for you to customize it. To give you an idea, let me open one. I have my logo here. I have a tag for the system's current date or the client's first name. And so you can create a letter template and the system will auto-populate the information that you want to be replaced. The name, the address. Let me open another one. Like the address, the client's, oh sorry, the case number. So the way that you can obtain these tags is if you go to the the caseworker portal, sorry, under the tools, you'll see tag helper. So the tag helper, as the name says, will help you find the tags easily. So let's say date of birth. Whose date of birth? The client, the what is this, the current marriage spouse's date of birth. I mean, you just click here to copy the tag, go back to your letter template and paste the tag. So it will populate the client's date of birth here. That's how it works. You may also upload documents under the document repository and enter the tags. And you can use the document assembly so that you can see how the data populates. Actually, let's talk about the document assembly. Document assembly is located at the case profile all the way at the bottom of the menu, right here. So after we work on the forms and we've gathered the evidence and we have the cover letters and everything we need, then you put together the package and use the document assembly. So I'm going to click new, adjustment of status, save, and I see all the forms that I can choose from. So I can select and move. I can delete forms that I don't need, and I can drag and drop. And same thing with the evidence or the cover letters, just select here, move them into the package, and then you can just drag and drop. So my passport goes here, my cover letter goes here, so you can just drag and drop. And once you have the package the way you want it, either add another page or create your table of contents. We update the page numbers for you. So just, make any changes that you need to and save them. You don't have to worry about the page numbers for the table of contents. And you can send that package via email or download it. Okay, so that's the document assembly. Let's continue. And lastly, reminders, process steps, and tickler. Okay, so let's go back. Any questions at this point before I continue? Please vote to let me know. Okay, so it looks like we're almost done. We have a couple of people pending to vote. And the majority of you, yes, we have questions, but we'll submit them later to ECMS support. Perfect. Okay, let's close this. Okay, let's continue then. Reminders. How do I create a reminder? If I want to create a reminder at the contact profile, again, I can click on the name of the person, go to reminders, and then reminders again. And when you add the reminder, please remember, please remember that you can customize the categories. So this drop-down menu, instead of saying I have a task or I have to follow up, I have a deadline, it's more, broad. So I recommend that you customize the categories so that you know exactly what this is for. Assessment of expiration dates or green card due for sponsorship. So you can customize the type of reminder. I'll say we have to call the client for follow-up and we need to call them next week on Wednesday, but I want to get an email reminder or text message or both. Get that reminder maybe a day before, let's say at 10 a.m. Who's responsible to call the client for follow-up? I'll search for my name under the caseworkers, and I can also CC the client or someone else who needs to be on the call. So I can just select the name of the person, and here I will select the client if needed. So if the client needs to get a text message reminder, hey, we're going to call you tomorrow for follow-up, they'll get that text message or email as well, depending on who you copy here. And then, of course, call for follow-up is scheduled for January 10th. And that's it. So once you create a reminder, and you can create the reminder at the case level too. If you look at the tickler, which is under the tools, tickler, you can customize the layout. By the way, you can have different layouts, a default one or a different option. Maybe I don't want to see accounts receivable aging info, or I want to customize this, the time frame. The ticker is your general dashboard where you see all these reminders, and we're going to go over the process steps, and you can see expiration dates. Now, if I leave it as is, then this is my data. But if I click here, then I show the data for all caseworkers. So it looks like in the next 15 days or the past 10 days, we had these reminders. So it tells me the type of category, right? What is it that we need to do and when we were supposed to do it, who was responsible, and any description notes. And the good thing is that you can also select a bunch of these reminders at once and modify them by changing the dates. So I can say, you know what, we finished them today, so I'm going to put completed day and apply. Or I can extend them and say, let's get it done next Monday, and that's going to be their new due date and apply. Okay. All right, let's close this. So that's the tickler. Let me show you what the process steps are. The process steps are your tasks, and this is kind of like their to-do list for your team. They know exactly what they need to do, and they have a due date or a deadline. So if I click on the link, I can look at the case. For example, let's say for this naturalization case, I'm going to look at the timeline or workflow, and it looks like we have these two items that are overdue. You can tell right away because they're in red. If I need to modify them, I can click modify and I can see, oops, it was me who was responsible. If this is checked, that means that I received an email on January 2nd so that I could send the questionnaire with a conflict letter. If I did it, I complete. And so that way it shows that the end date. And again, if you select the caseworker, they will get an email. Okay. All right. So now let's save the process steps. As you can see, we have a progress bar. So based on the completion or like based on the start date, now we have a percentage of progress. I can share that progress with my client if needed. So they will see the entirety of the case process steps. and the progress via the client portal. So let's take a look. If I share and she logs in, let's refresh the screen. When the client logs in into her client portal, she can see the status of that case that we just shared. So by clicking on status, she can see what's been completed or anything that we started. Okay, let's close. And again, it's up to you if you want to share that with the clients or not. Yes, you can customize the process steps. So the way you customize them, go to your admin portal. In fact, I already have it here. Go to your admin portal, click on case processes, locate the process or matter. In my example, I was using the naturalization one, and I'm going to click on steps right here. So I can customize the steps. I can customize a number of days, and also I can customize the option to receive an email or not. This email goes to the person responsible internally. Okay, so yes, you can customize them. Another benefit, if you want to save time, let's say that you worked on the list of process steps for naturalization, and we want to clone them or copy them. Click copy, but we're not going to call it naturalization. We're going to create one for VAWA or I don't know, like DACA, whatever process you want to, and then you can copy everything except the forms, the letter templates, the questionnaires, the documents. So you can select what applies, maybe just a list of documents and the process steps. And you know what, I'll just call it test so that we can take a look. When you do that, it's going to send that process all the way at the bottom of your list. So test. See? So you can just rearrange it and move that to a different location. So I'll say move it to number 1. And now my process, which I'll rename, has the same steps that we had for the other process. I don't have to recreate this whole list. So maybe you want to do that. I copy also the documents checklist because it's pretty much the same, but all I have to do is go to forms and add them based on the process. It might be easier to do that. But yes, you can customize the process tabs, the documents checklist, the forms checklist. If you haven't customized or if you haven't taken advantage of the admin portal, please do that. And remember, if you go to youtube.com, search for Cerenade Academy, we have videos, and there's one for administrative portal settings and customizations that you can watch. And that's where we cover also the other steps, the other customizations. All right, let me see. Someone else has a question. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right, so let's go over your resources and support. As I said, please contact us for any questions. You can call us Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 Pacific Standard Time, except on holidays. You can also email us. That's our email address. Or on your home screen where it says settings, you can click on technical support message and send us a message or send your feedback to developers. We also have a user's guide. I have the link right here, but just really quick, it's on the top right corner where you see the question mark. It's right here, user's guide. And literally, this is where you can find a lot of resources. If you type, let's say, intake forms, how do I translate them? How do I send them via passwordless link? So you can watch a video or you can follow step-by-step instructions, but we do have that user's guide available for you. We do these live trainings for free on Fridays at 10 a.m. except on holidays. We have a podcast that you can listen to. And as I mentioned earlier, you can join the Facebook forum page and ask questions to other colleagues. The YouTube channel as well, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. And these are some of the questions that you guys sent to us. How to navigate easily in eIMMIGRATION. Well, use the sidebar menu to access specific areas of the profile. Also, you can use the load more data button to quickly access specific sections, or you may open multiple tabs so that you can multitask. Let me show you what the load more data button is. So first of all, if you look at on the top, you can search. If I type the name of someone, I can either go to a case or go to the contact profile. And these are the most recently updated ones. But let's say that I search for a case and it's case number 123. I can also click on select, load more data, and go straight to any of these access or areas. Okay, so it might be faster. And the fact that I have multiple tabs open also helps a lot. So that's what we recommend. Um, how can we provide a link to leads for completing a questionnaire prior to the consultation? As I said earlier, you can consider the anonymous questionnaires or send the passwordless link directly to the prospect if you have an existing profile. So that way they can complete the questionnaire before the consultation. How to customize the list of matters when creating a new case. From the admin portal, you click on case processes to update or customize. I put the video right here, so if you need more detailed information, just click there. Don't forget to download my PowerPoint presentation. And did you know we have all these features available for you? Please click and learn more, such as syncing your calendar with Google or Office 365, e-filing, and how you can import data from the CBP website. We also have the summarizer. This is new. If you're on Plan C, you can start testing it. And how you can view the case status in your client portal. These are the upcoming trainings for this month and for the month of February. We have the links also available on our website, cerenade.com/events. So thank you so much for joining. Please make sure you connect. Um, Let me know if your questions were addressed during the webinar. As you guys, some of you voted, you will contact, please do contact our technical support team so that we can assist you. And also we have the option for private trainings if you want us to go at your own pace. This is a free webinar, and we have a lot of content to cover in 1 hour, but please know that if you want us to go at your own pace and you have specific questions that you want us to cover, you can always pay for a private training as well. All right, let's close this. Thank you so much for voting. And again, on behalf of Cerenade, thank you for joining us today. Have a great weekend. You're welcome. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend too. If you have questions, you can message me before I disconnect. Don't forget to download the PowerPoint presentation, and stay tuned for the video that's going to be uploaded in our YouTube channel as well. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. Have a good weekend.